Okay, let's take a quick peek at the Villas de Colonia property and submarket that it lies in. So first I'm going to highlight the area in which it's located, which we're going to call the Carrollton Farmers Branch Addison area, which is highlighted here in green. And I'm going to highlight the property Colonia, which is kind of located very centrally. I'm going to go ahead and unselect the surrounding area so we can kind of see the property and go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. So the purpose of this video is to get you a little bit more comfortable and familiar with the surrounding area, what's around us, amenities, schools, libraries, parks, things like that. So when residents or prospects or even just yourself, you have any questions about where things are, you have a little bit more of a firm understanding of where things lie. So let's take a first look at our area map and get a better understanding of kind of just what's in the surrounding area. So our first look is going to be at our parks. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight these parks. You'll see most of the parks, or if not all the parks, are located to the north of us in very close proximity. The first and main park is the Josie Ranch Lake Park, which is a 100-acre linear greenbelt park that connects Thomas Park, Josie Park Athletic Complex, Porter Park, the Jimmy Porter Park, as well as the Jimmy Porter Disc Golf, and Mill Valley. It also contains a 3.5-acre lake with a fishing pier, a hike and bike trail, multiple playgrounds, and concession stands. This is a really important and great amenity for our residents as it's within close proximity and offers a whole array of sports facilities and complexes, baseball fields, football fields, soccer fields, for youth sports and even adult sports. So a great thing to promote within our center, especially this Josie Park Athletic Complex here, which is a 50-acre complex with 4 youth softball fields, baseball fields, soccer fields, like I had mentioned. So another great community amenity. And just to the west of this kind of park complex is the Honors Golf Course, which is and Kelly Field, which is another nice amenity to have close in the neighborhood. So moving on from there, let's take a look at the retail shopping, as it's important for us to know where our residents will shop for food, clothing, and other items. So we have highlighted the retail. Now let's start a little bit close to the property. So here you see Colonia, and just to the south of us we've got the Fiesta Mart, we have got the La Michoacana Market and Goodwill, as well as the Carrollton Park Village and AutoZone right just to the south of us within walking distance. So that's another great amenity for the community. Now to the north of us, just past the park complex, we've got the Home Depot, retail, post office, Subway, some restaurants, another nice newer construction retail development to the north of us. And looking out a little bit further, we go to the west slightly, down, I think this is Beltline Road. We've got a Target, Kroger, Dallas Bowling, a Sam's Club, as well as many retail and restaurant spots throughout here. And you'll see it's not too far from our property, Colonia there to the west. And even looking at a little bit bigger, you can see to the southeast, we've got the Galleria, which is a major high-end Dallas shopping center located just off the freeways, just so a short drive from our property, as well as you've got the AMC Valley View 16 Plex movie theater. So, really good to know for prospects and existing residents who want to know where the local shopping areas are. All right, so that gives you a sense of kind of where the retail is. And please keep in mind, this is not all encompassing. There's obviously a lot of smaller retail shops in Addison and Farmers Branch, but this is kind of the larger blocks that we want to highlight. So I'm going to unselect the retail, and I'm also going to go in and look at next employment centers. And employment centers are going to be really important for us in understanding where our residents, prospects are working and how we can benefit directly and even indirectly from them. So I'm going to scroll into the property and start there first, and you'll see Colonia. And I think first it's interesting is that let's understand exactly what's across the street, which is the Lennox Industry Inc. And if you've been to the property, it's a very non-assuming building, but Lennox is a large residential and commercial HVAC manufacturer. I'm sure we're all familiar with seeing Lennox HVAC units on the sides of hotels and homes and in apartment buildings. And so that's what's across the street from us, for your information. But part of that overall larger complex is this extraordinarily large commercial and industrial complex that you'll see just to the east of the property, which is which should be a really targeted area for our marketing campaigns because they employ a lot of people. They've got lunchrooms, and we should be able to visit these properties on a consistent basis and get our marketing flyers in those lunchrooms. So scrolling out further, we'll notice to the west of us off Beltline, there's also another large office commercial retail complex that has very similar attributes to the one to the east of us. Another target-rich environment for us to go after for prospects. So I'm also going to highlight this kind of what I'm calling the Addison corridor to our east. It's a very large corridor, but it's heavily concentrated with office, industrial, distribution centers, retail, areas of very high employment. So I would imagine that a lot of employees working in this area would like to live in close proximity and have great value, and I think Colonia offers exactly that. Going out even just further, because I think that this is important to highlight, you'll see up here in the northeast, this blue highlight here. What this is the Baylor Regional Medical Center. This is a substantial medical center, and really a phenomenal target for ourselves to try to go out and reach into the medical community and get those nurses, those practitioners, the frontline employees that make between $30,000 and $60,000 a year, some of the best residents you can go after. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And I also believe it's one of the closest major full-service hospitals in proximity to Colonia. As you'll see, there's several other smaller hospitals and medical centers throughout the community, but this is probably the largest local regional hospital that you'll find. So coming back to the property, that gives you a sense of employment centers. Now let's go in and look at what also some of just the area amenities around us. So just to the east, you've got the Islamic Association of Carrollton. That could be a very relevant location for some of our residents who might be of Islamic faith. As well as to the north of us, just north of this retail center, you've got the Carrollton City Hall, the police department, as well as the Carrollton Jail. Good to know that. Let's see here. I think I've got libraries covered under schools, so I'll cover that when I go over schools, which we can go ahead and do now. So I'm going to highlight all of the schools in close proximity to Colonia so we can get a sense of what's around us and where some of our prospects and residents' children might be attending school, even some of the adults at the community, and I'll touch on that in a minute. So to the northeast of us, we've got Polk Middle School. To the west, we've got the Carrollton Elementary School, the DeWitt Perry Middle School, and to the south, we've got the R.L. Turner High School, as well as a couple specialty schools like the Carrollton Early Child Development Center, as well as to our west, there is the Community Learning Center, here highlighted in green, which is within walking distance of Colonia. The Community Learning Center is a pretty interesting spot. It's an adult learning center that holds classes, I believe, 5 days a week. They hold ESL classes, GED classes for adults, as well as several other degree-based classes that adults can benefit from. I really think that we need to spend some time and put some extra focus on this learning center and promote it within our leasing office so residents know that these resources exist within very close proximity. And also to the north, we have the Newman Smith High School, which, depending upon zoning, the Carrollton Farmer Branch school district covers a very large area. So depending upon where people have their addresses, and it's going to dictate what schools their kids go to. But that gives you a sense of where the schools are. So let's look at, kind of most importantly, where our comps lie. I'm going to go ahead and highlight our comps. We can see where they are. We've got 3 really good comps in very close proximity and a couple of other comps to the south here. And we've got one other comp, Carrollton Arms, just to the west there, as you see. So that should give you an understanding of where our main comps are. Now these are the comps that we're going to be closely comparing ourselves to on a rent basis and on an occupancy basis as well as an amenity basis. So it's really important we all understand where the locations are as well as where their rents are compared to ours. Now I'm going to be covering our core comps and our rent structure in the following video. So I hope you guys all tune in and check that out. But we've got a great comp set that we'll talk about in that video. So there's our comps. Now let's pan out here and look at one other area, which is just a quick peek at the single family housing market. And I think it's really important to understand, like we've talked about, where the retail is, where the hospitals are, where the shopping is, where the job centers are, where the schools are, as well as understanding, sometimes our competition, which could be single family houses, where the values are and where the kind of the growth is. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight the regions that I found to be significant around us, which you'll see here to the south. You've got kind of some older infill housing with housing values starting in the low 100s, call it the $120,000 range, and going up to the $200,000 range. These homes here are going to be older, like I said, and you'll also see that to the north we've got the Josie Ranch development. Now this is a newer development that has many sub-developments within it, but you'll also notice that the home values tend to be higher. So you'll see them start in the low 200s and go all the way up into potentially the low $400,000 range. So just gives you a sense of kind of where the new is, where the old is, and where values are, and where residents who are talking about maybe leaving a community or coming from a single family home, of what kind of values that they're looking at, so we understand kind of that value proposition, that rent versus that cost of ownership, that relationship that exists there. So that is kind of a general overview of the Carrollton Farmers Branch subpocket, and I hope you found this video to be informative. We'll be posting more videos about the property. If you have any specific questions or topics you want us to cover in a video, please email us or comment in the comments below. We'd love to dig in further and get you some more information so we can all have a better understanding of where we lie. So hope you found this video important and meaningful. Look forward to talking to you on the next one. Thank you much.